Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to A Different Opinion. Hope everyone has been well. Today we got a different type of story than the usual, kind of covering the mainstream news, right? It's from the Mirror. So it's kind of the flights from hell, or people that are kind of feeling that they're entitled on a flight. For example, with this one here, irate dad's word of advice for passenger who refused to move for his son on a flight. So no offense, if you don't pre-book your seats these days, you probably won't be sitting with the person you want to sit with. It's not like the olden days where you can't pre-book these flights and you got to turn up early and you'll get the better seats and you can choose kind of window seats, whatever. Nowadays, it's you got to pay a certain fee. Some are quite cheap. Some airlines don't even charge you any money. When I just booked currently for flights in between Europe and everything like that, they charge about €5. Some of them, one charge €10 to choose your seats. And these are just, your normal economy seats. But then there's also some airlines that don't charge at all, like a couple of the flights. I believe it was between Paris and Barcelona. I didn't have to actually pay to choose my seats. So I guess it depends what airline you're with. But at the same time, you can't get annoyed at someone for saying they don't want to move so you and your person can sit next to each other. Like, if they don't want to move, they don't have to move. That's their seat, unfortunately. So for someone to be that kind of entitled, it's very annoying. But before we jump into this, there's another one I'd like to show you as well about Sydney Watson, and how she said that she was trapped between two obese people on a flight, which obviously caused a little bit of roughening of the waters because a lot of people didn't like the way she said it. But we'll jump into that after this. If you do want to support the channel and see future videos as well and follow me on this journey, please subscribe below the video. You'll be able to see my videos. Like the video if you liked it, and also comment with your opinions as well. So let's jump into this. A plane passenger received some sharp words of advice from a bristling dad on a plane. The tense encounter came at the end of a 6-hour flight from Madrid to Abu Dhabi, during which time a dad and his grown-up son sat separately. Why do you need to sit next to him? No offense. The duo had boarded the plane and asked several people on it whether they would switch seats or order to sit together. One passenger recalled being asked, to which they and everyone else said no, which is their right. It's their ticket. They don't have to move. I mean, there's been times in the past where I've flown with my family when I was even younger, when I was about, 14, 15, and we didn't pre-book the flight, like the seats, so we ended up sitting separately. And look, I was fine with it. That did not bother me at all. It is what it is, right? It also actually caused a slight delay as the flight attendants were asking what's happening with them. So the whole flight got delayed because of this dad wanting to full on sit next to his son. Like, dude, settle down, man. They were seated 1 row and 2 seats apart, so it's not even far away, so they can still see and talk to each other. The whole trip, they were talking loudly to one another and exchanging stuff, waking some people up. When the plane touched down and the seatbelt sign was turned off, the father approached the poster and said, word of advice, try to be more compassionate next time. And this guy, that would infuriate me if he came up and said that to me, right? I'd say, mate, how about stop being so freaking stingy and pay for your damn seats if you want to sit next to your son so damn bad? Seriously. And then I'd say, you got to be more compassionate, stop passing things and talking loudly when people want to sleep on a flight. Because for me, I would rather want to sleep on a flight. I get very bored on the plane. Even if I'm watching movies, whatever, I get very bored, and I just wish that I could just appear there. Really, let's be honest. The poster turned to the website to ask whether the issue was a matter of compassion or entitlement. Most people came down on the entitlement side of things, as do I. I'm 55 myself, and this is hardly an old lady age that seems constant attention and looking after. Unless the father was disabled or ill, there is no reason he couldn't sit a row apart from his son for 6 hours exactly. Another added, they asked, you said no, that should be the end of it. So a third chimed in, you paid for a reserved seat, they didn't, that's not on you, you did not owe them anything, period. Exactly. So it's pretty cool reading through these comments, right? Pretty much everyone is yet again on that side as well, the same side as me, in the same kind of opinion by saying, pay for your seats if you want to sit together. There's one here from Gloria. wondering why the airline employees on the plane didn't intervene and stop the yelling between two adults during a 6-hour flight. It was disturbing other paying passengers. As for the situation, pay the extra for reserved seats or get what you get. Exactly. Well put by Gloria. So I'll jump into this one here from Sydney Watson. I mean, she's, got quite a lot of followers on Twitter and all that type of stuff. So airline stunning flip after woman claims she was trapped between overweight people. The conservative commentator shut down after her foul rant about sitting between two overweight people on a short flight has received an unexpected token of goodwill from the airline. Sydney Watson, a right-wing Australian... See this, I don't know why I always got to say political things when it literally is just a story, right? So let me fix this. Sydney Watson, an Australian-American political journalist who is no stranger to controversial subjects, took to Twitter last month in an unruly campaign arguing, if you need a seatbelt extender, you are too fat to be on the plane. Look, I think if you do need a seatbelt extender and you don't encroach into someone else's personal space, I think you're fine, right? If there's no one sitting in the back of the plane, go sit in the back of the plane, you can have the space that you want. Look, I got nothing wrong with that at all. But if something like this is happening, like you can see the seat kind of, she's way over onto her side here, right? That's her arm there. And look how big this arm is, man. Holy crap. Like, no offense to this lady or guy, or whoever it is or what it is. But seriously, that arm is, man, this person would be like 400 and something pounds. And that's like over 200 kilos. That is just an arm. So her offensive comments came after she was seated between obviously the two obese siblings. And this is also what apparently I've seen a lot of videos of this on TikTok and Instagram or whatever, where they actually show hacks on how to get seats. Because what happens is, if you're, a very big person and you have a sibling who's also a very big person, one buys the window seat, one buys the aisle seat. So what they're hoping for is that no one will buy the seat in the middle, right? That is literally, it's so funny. There's so many videos on it where they say, a lot of people don't want to sit in between people. So the likeliness of you getting an extra seat in the middle is quite high. If the flight's not sold out. Now, unluckily to her, she was caught in between this. And yeah, look, I wouldn't like it if I was sitting there the whole flight and my arms are touching someone else's arms the whole time. Yeah, even like, and I'm not a person who really values my own personal space when it comes to things like this. Like, I'm very happy on trains or whatever, where you got to stand right next to people. Like, that doesn't bother me. But things like where you got sitting on a plane, you pay a lot of money for that seat, and then you're constantly being touched by a person right next to you from both sides. Yeah, and that would not be enjoyable. And imagine trying to get to the toilet as well. So at the time, American Airlines responded by saying it didn't discriminate against body types because we're also politically correct in America with all our companies and blah, 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 blah. Our passengers come in all different sizes and shapes. We're sorry you were uncomfortable on your flight. The Twitter account for the airline replied. In a surprising update revealed by Watson on Tuesday, it appeared the airline had changed heart. In an email sent to Watson on Monday, a representative said they sincerely regret the enjoyment and comfort of her flight was diminished due to another customer exceeding their seat space. Exactly. Now that they actually think about it, they're like, oh, wait a minute. We're in the wrong here. The representative informed Watson she would have been entitled to move seats had there been an alternate option available on the flight. Comes back to it again, why do I have to move? But yeah, whatever. If there's another seat, I would have gone for sure. In a gesture of good, and that's a weird thing, they didn't even offer it to her. In a gesture of goodwill, she was issued a $150 trip credit. I can understand your disappointment with the situation not being remedied to your satisfaction. We appreciate you contacting us regarding this matter. Above all, we appreciate your business and look forward to welcoming you on board again soon. So she said, I'd rather take the $150 American Airlines offered me as a refund and give it to someone who needs a PT or a gym membership. Wow, that's the ultimate dunk right there. The saga has attracted viral attention from both sides on the fence, with many saying her plea was entirely uncalled for, while others felt her stance was justified. Look, I think it's justified. Maybe the way she went about it was a little bit rough, in my opinion. Obviously saying, I'm wedged between these two obese people. Or, If you need a seatbelt extender, you are too fat to be on the plane. Maybe just say, I was on a plane seat. My personal space was invaded because the people next to me were too big for their own seat space. So it actually encroached onto my personal space, which made me feel very uncomfortable. And I did not enjoy my flight at all. And I believe on my flight, I should have comfort because I pay for the ticket the same as they do. And we all have our own personal spaces. I think that's probably a better way she could have gone about it, but at the same time, she was obviously pretty heated at the time as well, and I don't think it should cause such a massive controversy by her just saying these things. I mean, it's not that long ago, what, 10, 20 years, 10, even 10 years ago, you know, you'd be able to say these words without people losing their mind and absolutely attacking you, and as happened with her, where she actually got death threats and everything from people. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please subscribe below the video to see future videos. Like the video if you liked it, and comment with your thoughts as well. Let me know what you think. Do you think the way she went about it was alright? Was it not? Let me know. Also, how would you react if this thing happened to you? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.